Did you know that every single night you go to sleep in Stardew Valley, the game is running a hidden event system in the background, and depending on what you've done, a fairy might grow your crops, a witch might curse your animals, a meteorite might destroy everything you planted, something might escape from a glowing capsule on your farm, and most of these events are deeper than you think. You know how Stardew Valley is like the most peaceful game ever made, right? You move to a little farm, you water your parsnips, you go to the egg festival and give everyone gifts until they love you. Life is wonderful, and nothing is wrong at all, except that the country where Stardew Valley is located, the Ferngold Republic, is currently at war. They are at war with something called the Godoro Empire, a rival nation sitting across the Gem Sea, the one you can see from Willie's fishing shop. Yeah, that one. And why has nobody talked about the Gem Sea, you ask? Well, let me explain. Since Stardew Valley is meant to be a peaceful game about your life on a farm after leaving the big city behind, it's no great surprise that the war doesn't come up often. And by doesn't come up often, I mean it essentially doesn't come up at all. Your neighbors don't mention it. The mayor doesn't mention it. Festivals carry on as normal. Pierre is worried about his shop, so basically it feels like this war doesn't even exist. The only reason you ever find out is because of Sam, who mentions that his dad is out fighting the Godoro Empire, and his little brother Vincent asks Sam if dad is ever coming home, because he's heard of how soldiers are getting shot out there, and Sam has to look this poor kid in the face and reassure him while privately telling you he has absolutely no idea if his dad is coming back. Then, in year 2, Kent shows up, and Kent is not doing great, to put it very lightly. He was a prisoner of war in a Godoro prison camp. The game reveals this in a brutal way, kinda. Just give him a gift he doesn't like, and he'll tell you that's exactly what they fed him in the camps. You give Kent a tortilla, and suddenly you're learning about wartime imprisonment. Have a lovely day. If you walk into Kent and Jody's house one day, Jody will be in the kitchen making popcorn. It makes a few popping sounds, and Kent runs in screaming that the sound reminds him of the war. He starts talking about the friends he lost in the bloody trenches. Jody tells him popcorn used to be his favorite, to which Kent just says that things have changed. Damn, things have changed. Brother, buddy, pal, that might be the most devastating line reading in a game about growing turnips. Maybe not really, but damn. He also dislikes open fields because they remind him of the battlefield. So the flower dance, where everyone goes to this beautiful open meadow, Kent is just standing there, uncomfortable the whole time. He is just there in his military uniform, white-knuckling it through the whole thing, staring at the middle distance while your character wins the three-legged race, or whatever. Kent can explain in dialogue that his fatigue comes from difficulty sleeping, which is another symptom of PTSD. And despite all of this, despite everything, popcorn is actually one of his favorite gifts when you bring it to him at the movie theater, because he still loves the snack. He just can't be in the room while it's being made. That detail is so precise and so thoughtful, and I genuinely did not know what Concerned Ape was doing, putting this level of emotional nuance into a game where you also throw fish at a beach party. Before Kent even arrives, there's a letter in the drawer next to Jody's bed that he wrote her from the front, and it says, "I might not be the same man you remember. I've seen some things out here that have really shaken me up." Vincent says he's glad his dad is back, but that he's different now, and doesn't really play with him anymore. Oh, and also, before the war, Kent was just a regular garbage man living in Zuzu City. There is a lost book you can find in Stardew Valley called Mysteries of the Dwarves, a book written by an archaeologist named M. Jasper. His entire thesis, his life's work, presumably, is that the dwarves might have been part of an advanced civilization that lived in another world entirely, crash landed on this planet on a spacecraft, and then burrowed underground and never came back up. The dwarves call themselves Smilanu. It means sky people. Sky people. The creatures who live as deep underground as physically possible call themselves sky people. That is not an accident. That is a species remembering where they came from. You don't name yourself sky people because you really enjoy looking up. You name yourself sky people because you fell out of the sky, and the trauma is generational. And the theory actually holds together when you look at the details. Human technology in the valley is apparently derived from dwarf technology. Everything humans have built is downstream of what the dwarves figured out first. So that's the backstory. Here's where it gets properly dark. When the spacecraft crashed and the dwarves burrowed underground looking for a home, the shadow people were already down there. And the fan theory is that the crash itself tore open the barrier between the physical world and the shadow realm, meaning the dwarves didn't just arrive and start causing problems. They may have literally ripped open a dimension that wasn't supposed to be accessible. They broke someone else's reality just by showing up. As you do, what followed was the Elemental Wars, which lasted roughly 1,000 years. 1,000 years. For context, that is longer than the entire recorded history of most human civilizations. These two species fought underground for a millennium, and humans on the surface were just up here doing whatever. Farming, having festivals, and completely unaware that below their feet, an ancient interstellar war was in its 400th year. The outcome of this war caused the dwarf race to essentially disappear, leaving behind only relics, which you can find as artifacts in the mines. And now there are 2 of them left. One lives in the mines, one runs a shop inside a volcano on Ginger Island. The species that built technology so advanced it jump-started all of human development has been reduced to 2 individuals, and neither of them can quit their job. Oh, and also, this might be the best bonus detail in the entire game. There's a rare random event where a strange capsule lands on your farm overnight. After a few days, it breaks open, and then, occasionally, at about a 1% chance, a small, dark figure is spotted wandering around Pelican Town at night, near the bus stop, moving quickly, then disappearing. The theory is that it's another dwarf. Another dwarf just arrived, crash-landed again, waving at you briefly in the dark, and then vanishing. Every overnight event in Stardew Valley is random. The fairy who visits your crops, the meteor, the witch who's flying over your farm. All of it rolls the dice every night, and maybe something happens, maybe it doesn't. Except 1. The earthquake in Summer 3, Year 1 is a fixed event. It happens on a guaranteed date, and doesn't affect anything on your farm. You, me, everyone who has ever played this game all woke up on the same in-game morning to the same little text box. There was an earthquake during the night. And then approximately 100% of people closed it and went to check their parsnips, which is a completely reasonable response. The game delivers this information in the same exact way it delivers everything else. It doesn't feel significant because nothing about the presentation suggests it is. Thanks for letting me know. Off to water some crops. Except this was a deliberately scripted world event that just reshaped the map while you were asleep. What the earthquake actually does is move a boulder that was blocking a path behind Robin's carpenter shop, opening up the entire railroad area to the north. And the railroad area isn't nothing. It contains the bathhouse spa, the train station, and 2 locked paths that sit there completely inaccessible for potentially the rest of your entire playthrough. The first locked path leads to the Witch's Swamp. You can't get in there until you complete the community center. Then go back to the railroad, trigger a cutscene, get sent on a quest by the wizard to find a dark talisman, go into the sewers, navigate a bug lair, bring the talisman back, place it on a cave entrance, teleport into a swamp, and then bribe a goblin with mayonnaise. The second locked path leads to the summit. The path to the summit is blocked by a boulder that becomes accessible the day you achieve 100% perfection. 100% perfection. Every crop, every fish, every friendship maxed out. Every bundle is complete. Every walnut on Ginger Island has been found. When you finally get there, you sit on a bench and watch a cutscene where every villager, every farm animal, every fish, and every monster in the game parades past you as the game essentially rolls credits on your entire life. That's the actual genius of it. Concerned Ape hard-coded the earthquake specifically to this date to ensure all players hit this progression milestone in a structured way. But the delivery is so understated that most people don't even register it as a milestone at all. It doesn't announce itself. If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. This took weeks to make, and there's a lot more where it came from. Most people know completing the community center is a whole thing. You collect items, you donate them, the town gets better. Great, but a lot of players don't actually register what's happening between "I finished the room" and "the thing is fixed now." They think it's just a game mechanic ticking over, points going in, rewards coming out. What's actually happening is that tiny magical forest creatures are physically going out in the middle of the night and doing construction work. During the night, after all bundles in a room are completed, the game plays a cutscene in which the Junimos go out and make the improvement to the town themselves. Finish the crafts room, and they will repair the broken bridge east of the mines so you can access the quarry. Finish the boiler room, and they fix the minecarts around town so you can fast travel between the mines. Finish the pantry, and your greenhouse gets built overnight. Finish the vault bundles, and the bus gets repaired so you can get to the Calico Desert. Every room has its own specific cutscene and its own specific thing these creatures go out and handle at night. And remember, these are creatures that most people in Pelican Town think are fairy tales. Penny literally has a book in her room called Fairies, Junimos, and Other Fables. Lewis called them rats when he first saw them. These beings that don't exist to basically anyone in the world are rebuilding the infrastructure of an entire town one bundle at a time at night when no one is watching. Also, if you complete 2 rooms on the same day, the game only shows you one cutscene. The other one happens off-screen, somewhere in the valley. The Junimos are out there doing the second job, and nobody's watching it, not even the player. The game just picks one and lets the other play out in the dark, like it was never for you to see in the first place. And when every single bundle is done and the community center is fully restored, they just go back to the forest, the place they lived in for however many years, fixed up. And they're gone before the reopening ceremony ever happens. So you've done it. You finish every bundle, every single one. You caught the fish. You grew the crops. You descended into a cursed mine at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, because apparently that's just your life now. The Junimos restored the community center, and Morris, the guy who spent the entire game being unpleasant to you, just left. Incredible. But the game has not moved on, because on the night before the first rainy day, after finishing the community center, a cutscene plays where God, or the universe, or Yoba, or whatever force governs this valley, looks down at the abandoned Joja Mart and goes, "No." And a bolt of lightning just absolutely destroys the front doors. And you go inside the next day, and it is bleak in there. Broken shelves, leftover Joja branding everywhere. The vibe of a blockbuster video if it had also lost a war. You're taking it all in, processing the architectural sadness of it. And then you see one Small, purple Junimo alone. Nobody knows what happened. Did it miss the group chat? Did it fall asleep? Was it doing one last lap of the cereal aisle for old time's sake? We don't get any explanation. You just walk in, you make eye contact with this tiny little creature sitting in the wreckage of late-stage capitalism, and it asks you, with what I can only imagine is enormous emotional weight for something the size of a tennis ball, for one final bundle so it can go home. Cool. Great. Love that for us. What's on the list? Well, the missing bundle is the hardest collection in the entire game. It asks for 5 of 6 possible items, and basically every single one of them is late-game content. A prismatic shard, which is one of the rarest drops in the game, and a lot of players use their first one to unlock the Galaxy Sword. 5 gold quality ancient fruits, which take an entire season to grow. Caviar, which requires you to build a fish pond, and specifically farm sturgeon roe. Void salmon gold quality. Dinosaur mayonnaise, which requires you to find an actual dinosaur egg and process it. And silver quality wine, which is the easiest thing on that list, and you can actually just buy it from the traveling cart on Thursdays for 500 gold. Once you complete it, the Junimos come back that night and transform the entire JojaMart building into a fully functioning movie theater. So the thing that was supposed to replace the community center and erase everything the town had ends up being physically converted by the same forest spirits the company never knew existed. And if you chose the Joja route instead of restoring the community center, you can still get the movie theater. Morris will sell it to you for 500,000 gold. At some point, Willie sends you a letter that says, "Hey, there's something in the back of my shop. Come look." You go, there's a boat. It's completely destroyed, and Willie explains that it is used to take people to nearby islands, but it's going to need some repairs first. Cool. Easy. What do you need, Willie? 200 hardwood for the hull, 5 iridium bars for the anchors, and 5 battery packs for the ticket stand, which is already a massive ask, because iridium bars alone mean you've spent serious time in Skull Cavern, and battery packs require you to either get lucky with lightning rods during storms or buy them off the traveling cart at an absolutely awful price. So by the time you've actually gathered all of it, you've probably been grinding for weeks. You slot everything in, go home, go to sleep, and that night, the game plays a cutscene of Robin and Willie down at the docks in the dark doing the repair work themselves. Robin is the town carpenter. She builds and upgrades everything on your farm, and here she is in the middle of the night on the beach fixing a fishing boat because Willie needed help and she just showed up. And the game doesn't comment on it at all. It's just 2 people doing a job in the dark while you sleep. And the next morning, Willie sends you a letter that says, "The old boat is seaworthy once again, thanks to you." And also tells you his shop now opens an hour earlier at 8 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. because he's excited about the whole thing. And what the boat actually unlocks is Ginger Island, which is its own entire world, with a volcano dungeon, a second farm, a whole cast of new characters, and the most difficult content in the game. And none of it exists without this one overnight scene of 2 people fixing a boat that half the player base accidentally skipped. When you get to Ginger Island, you discover there's a kid living alone in a treehouse in the jungle. His name is Leo. Leo's family was the victim of a shipwreck. His parents died, and he washed up on Ginger Island alone as a small child. And before you ask how he survived, the parrots took him in. The parrots raised him. He considers the parrots who inhabit Ginger Island to be his family. He calls them his bird family. You don't get to walk up and say hi and have a normal interaction with Leo, because nothing about him is normal. He is a feral island child who was raised by birds and he will not acknowledge your existence until the birds vouch for you. He won't talk to you until you make friends with the parrots first, which requires giving them golden walnuts. You have to pass the parrot background check. Respect. So you do that, and you slowly befriend this kid through gifts and visits, duck feathers and mangoes, and just generally proving you're not a threat. And eventually, you get to 6 hearts with him. At 6 hearts, a cutscene plays on the docks of Ginger Island. Linus and Willie get off the boat to meet Leo. Linus convinces Leo to leave Ginger Island and come live on the mainland. Leo is initially unsure, and I mean, fair. His whole life is on this island. But then he hears there are other children living on the mainland, and he becomes excited at the thought of going. That night, the parrots transform a large tree in the mountains into Leo's treehouse. The treehouse sits right next to Linus's tent. Linus, the man who lives alone on the mountain, who the town doesn't fully accept, who spends most of his time at the margins, is the first person to go get Leo. The two outcasts of Stardew Valley are living side by side on the mountain. I'm not saying Concerned Ape planned that on purpose. I'm saying he absolutely planned that on purpose. After Leo moves to Stardew Valley, he starts cooking with Linus on the campfire. He goes to school with Penny, Vincent, and Jazz, and starts answering questions correctly in class. He also appears to have a crush on Jazz. Kid is thriving. On Sundays and Mondays, he still visits Ginger Island to see the parrots. He sends you a letter after he moves to say thank you. Willie helped him write it. I need a minute. Some nights in Stardew Valley, something flies over your farm while you sleep. You don't see it happen. You go to bed, you wake up, and either everything is normal or something has changed, and you don't know why. That's the witch. She came by, you slept through it, and she did what she wanted and left. There's a 1% chance of the witch's night event being chosen each night, and she'll fly over your farm map. After that, there's an additional chance she picks a specific building, an 80% chance per upgraded coop, or a 50% chance per slime hutch. So you're rolling dice on top of dice. The 1% fires, then she has to pick your building, and only then does anything actually happen. Most nights, nothing. Some morning, without warning, void egg. If she picks your coop, she leaves a void egg, which can be incubated into a void chicken. If she picks your slime hutch, she turns every slime inside into black slime. The void chicken is, frankly, a gift. A spooky midnight visit that results in a new flavor of chicken. Great. No notes. Thank you, witch. The slime hutch situation is more complicated. Black slimes aren't terrible. They drop coal and some minerals. But if you've been carefully breeding a collection of specific colored slimes, purple ones, tiger ones, whatever you've been curating for weeks, you wake up and they're all just black. Again, thank you, witch. Look, it gets more interesting. Placing a wicked statue inside your slime hutch prevents the witch from visiting and turning all your slimes black. A small, evil-looking statue, bought as a crafting recipe from Krobus, is placed inside your slime building, and a supernatural entity with flight capabilities and dark magic simply turns around and goes home. The game doesn't explain why it works. There is no lore attached to this. The witch just respects the statue. Witch monster spawns are enabled on your farm. Any wicked statues on the property will shake and have their eyes glow red every time a monster spawns nearby. Now, who is this witch? You might ask. Good question. She is the wizard's ex-wife, the wizard, the man who lives in a tower on the edge of town, who you've probably bought buildings from and given geodes to, was married to a witch who now flies around the countryside cursing people. This is his summary of the situation. The wizard does not elaborate. He does not seem particularly bothered by it. He's just a guy whose ex is having a whole thing, and her thing involves your slimes. At some point, the wizard asks you to go to his ex-wife's house to retrieve his magic ink. See, after the divorce, she flew off, took up residence in a swamp behind the train tracks, and has been in possession of his magic ink this whole time. And rather than sort this out himself, he sends you to get it. The hut, by the way, is always empty. She is never there, so you just walk in and take the ink. She's out, presumably cursing someone's slimes. There's also a scarecrow that has a striking resemblance to the witch's appearance. Nobody in town mentions it. The wizard has definitely seen it, and he's said nothing. And if you're a high achiever, once you reach 100% perfection in the game, there's 60% chance the witch will appear golden instead, leaving behind a golden egg that hatches into a golden chicken. The witch is not purely malevolent. She just has opinions about slimes, a complicated divorce situation, and a statue she won't argue with. Sometimes you wake up and the game goes, an explosion was heard in the night, and you step outside and you realize your cauliflowers are gone now. Yeah, because a boulder ate them. What you see is a purple boulder sitting in the middle of your farm. There's a 1% chance per night of the meteorite event being chosen. When it lands, it picks a random spot on your farm, and any crops or paths in that area are simply destroyed. It did not care that you planted those yesterday. It does not care about anything. It is a rock from space, and it is not sorry. Meteorites don't despawn naturally and require a gold pickaxe or better to mine. If you're a new player who hasn't upgraded their pickaxe yet, you and that meteor are roommates now. And when you do finally break it open, it drops 10 iridium ore, 8 stone, and 2 omni geodes, and has a 25% chance to drop a prismatic shard. That means 75% of the time you do all of this, you survive the crop destruction, you deal with the rock squatting your property, you eventually get the gold pickaxe, you hit it 7 times, and it gives you some iridium and a couple of geodes, which is fine. Iridium is good, thanks. There's a 0.5% chance the stone owl event gets chosen. If it does, an owl sound effect plays in the dark, just a single hoot, and in the morning, there's a stone owl statue sitting somewhere on your farm. The description reads, "It's not clear where this came from, but it looks very fine. Concerned Ape looked at this mysterious statue that materializes on your farm in the middle of the night and went, you know what? It looks very fine. Ship it." The game offers no explicit lore regarding the stone owl's origins or significance whatsoever. It just shows up. It is a stone owl. It is fine. Moving on. Unlike the strange capsule, the other mysterious overnight event, the stone owl can happen multiple times in the same save file. You can accumulate stone owls across the years, like some kind of increasingly confused farmer who never once asks who is doing this or why. People have reported getting 4 of them. Apparently, the stone owl used to be significantly rarer than it is now. Concerned Ape never actually intended it to be as uncommon as it became, so the rate was adjusted. The funniest thing is that there is actually a stone owl you can legitimately buy. There's one sold at the night market for 500 gold, but it's completely unrelated to the secret owl that materializes on your farm. They just happen to share the same name. Stardew Valley really wants you to like your animals. You name them when you buy them. You pet them every single day. You let them out into the sunshine to eat grass because that's what makes them happiest. You check on them, you notice when they look sad. You have a chicken called Meredith and a cow called Gerald, and you are invested in Gerald specifically. Gerald has been with you since year 1. And then one evening, you close the barn doors slightly early without even thinking about it, and Gerald is still outside. Animals that go outside normally return to their buildings by 6 p.m. to sleep. Closing the coop or barn doors before all the animals have returned will result in the ones left out overnight being vulnerable to wild animal attacks. You don't know this yet though. You just went to bed. You're tired. You had a long day of farming. You didn't do a head count. Nobody told you to do a head count. After the player goes to sleep, if no other events are due to occur, there will be a 50% chance that the game will attempt to start a wild animal attack event. If this event proceeds, the game goes through all buildings to find a barn or coop that has its doors closed with animals left outside. Coin flip. Gerald's life is a coin flip right now, and you are fully asleep. During the event, you hear growls and strange noises with no additional text displayed. Then morning comes. The attacked animal is removed from the farm, and the other animals from its barn will have a negative mood, with a message reading that they look stressed and paranoid today. It seems like something bad happened last night. You look around the barn, you count, you look again, you count again, and then you Google it and find out that yes, this is a mechanic. This has always been a mechanic, and it happened to Gerald because you closed the door at 5:47 p.m. instead of 6:15 p.m. The worst version of this, and there are forum posts about this exact scenario, is a new player in year 1 who just got their first animals, named them all carefully, let them outside for the first time because they read that grass makes animals happier, and closed the door without quite waiting long enough. Wakes up the next morning and one is gone. Something bad happened last night. Googles it, finds out. Welcome to farming. We have talked about this a million times, but every single night in Stardew Valley while you're asleep, the game is rolling dice. We've also talked about the million things that could happen, like the witch cop slime curse stuff, the meteorite, the stone owl, and so on. Except one night. No farm event will ever happen on the night before your wedding. It's hard-coded, and it doesn't stop there. On your actual wedding day, the weather icon that normally sits between the date and time is replaced with a little heart, and the weather, always sunny, regardless of what the forecast said the night before. It could have been predicting a thunderstorm. Doesn't matter. Concerned Ape looked at the forecast, looked at your wedding, and went, no, not today. Sunny. Heart icon. You've earned it. It's such a small thing that you'd never even notice. Most people never do, but it's there in the code. Very normal game. I give it a 10 out of 10. There is a big tree in Cindersap Forest, near Marnie's ranch. You walk past it 100 times, and you never think about it. And then one night, you hear a crash. After you complete the greenhouse, either through the pantry bundles at the community center, or by writing Joja a very large soul-crushing check, there's a 10% chance per night of a strong windstorm event. And with no warning, you hear just a sound, a tree falls. The next morning, next to Marnie's ranch, there is now a giant stump with a question mark floating above it. You walk up to it. Your character looks at it thoughtfully and says, the old tree is gone. However, with 100 pieces of hardwood, this could be fixed up. Fixed up into what? You don't know, but sure. You get the hardwood, you hand it over, and go to sleep. The next morning, there is a raccoon hanging around the treehouse, and he wants specific items, artisan goods, smoked fish, foraged things, and each time you fulfill one, a new family member moves in. First, his wife shows up. Then the kids start arriving one by one, and there's a 7-day gap between each request. After the first request, his wife opens a shop, and she does not accept gold. She wants your trash. Literally. Broken glasses, mixed seeds, sap pine cones, and garbage you've been throwing away for months. Because the raccoon economy runs entirely on your discard pile. Her inventory has the new seasonal seeds, carrot, summer squash, broccoli, powder melon, plus the raccoon hat, the raccoon journal, fairy dust, and the jungle tank. When you complete all 8 requests, the Good Neighbors achievement unlocks, and in update 1.6.4, once the family reaches maximum size, they sing a song and dance for you. Even after completing all the story requests, the raccoon keeps asking for more stuff indefinitely. No more family members arrive. The stump is apparently at capacity, but he just keeps going. let me tell you about the strangest character in all of Stardew Valley, Mr. Chi, the blue-skinned man with no backstory. He first contacts you by leaving a note inside a secret lockbox hidden in a tunnel wall. The note tells you to leave a rainbow shell hidden in a tunnel wall. This leads to a note telling you to feed a solar essence to a dragon skeleton in the desert, which leads to a club card hidden in a lumber pile outside your own house. Follow all of that, and you get access to a secret casino hidden behind a store in the Calico Desert, a casino that Mr. Chi personally runs. Nobody sent you an explanation. Nobody warned you the tunnel had a lockbox. You just found it, and now you're gambling with a mysterious blue man. This is totally normal. Later, if you collect 100 golden walnuts on Ginger Island, you can find Mr. Chi in his walnut room, where he watches over all the activity in the valley on a variety of computer screens. He has been watching your farm this whole time from a room on a tropical island and decided the appropriate response was to open a casino rather than, say, introduce himself. He admits as much, telling the player he's always behind the curtain, making sure the show is interesting. He knows it's a show, and he knows you're the main character. He's just back there, behind everything, pulling levers, watching screens, making sure the experience stays engaging. This man is either a god or Concerned Ape has just started writing himself into the game. And then there's the summit. The summit is technically the final location players visit as part of Stardew Valley's story. The path opens after achieving perfection. Players figured out a glitch, a sword swing trick that clips you out of bounds, that lets you walk past the boulder blocking the path and reach the summit early and see the ending without earning it. Concerned Ape found out about this glitch, and instead of patching it, he added a cutscene. The background replaces the normal summit view with a blank screen full of glitched sprites. Mr. Chi appears and says, "Well, well, well, look who made it to the summit. Thought you were really clever, didn't you? How can I cheat the system for my own benefit, you thought? Or in layman's terms, me, 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 me. Despicable." Mr. Chi then rushes at the player. The screen goes dark, and then you wake up in Harvey's clinic. Harvey charges you 500 gold for the emergency surgery and asks you to be a little more careful next time. You have been pushed off a mountain by a mysterious surveillance man who runs a secret casino, and now you owe the doctor money. Let's talk about the Skull Cavern, specifically floor 100. Quick context for people who haven't been to Skull Cavern. It is a mine in the Calico Desert with no elevator, no checkpoints, and no bottom that any sane person has ever reached. It is simply a hole in the ground that goes down forever, full of increasingly angry monsters, and the whole thing resets every time you leave. Getting deep requires either fighting your way down, bombing rocks, diving through shafts, killing things, hoping for ladders, or crafting staircases, which are exactly what they sound like. You place one, it creates a staircase, and you go down a floor. You can carry hundreds. You can stack them. You can theoretically skip every floor between 1 and 100 by just placing staircases the whole way down, bypassing every monster, every rock, every moment of actual danger. Secret note number 10 adds the cryptic note quest, asking you to reach floor 100 of the Skull Cavern. The note says there's a reward waiting. It doesn't say what, it just says, go down there. So you go, however you choose to get there. And on floor 100, Mr. Chi is waiting. He either congratulates you for reaching level 100 using 10 or fewer staircases, or tells you that you were clever, but not honorable, for using more than 10. My advice is to prepare in advance, because he watched the whole descent, counted every staircase you placed, tallied them up, and had the appropriate remarks ready for when you arrived. If you cheated your way down, he gives you the backhanded one, the clever but not honorable one. If you did it the hard way, the real way, he says, impressive, very impressive. You passed my test with flying colors, kid. I'm very pleased that you challenged yourself and came down the honorable way, instead of skipping all the levels by crafting staircases. That shows you're the real deal, kid. You've got principles. You understand the importance of challenging yourself and holding yourself to the highest standard, even if no one is watching. Even if no one is watching, the audacity of this man. In either case, he rewards you with iridium snake milk, which permanently increases your maximum health by 25. Staircase cheater or honorable warrior, you both get the milk. The reward is the same. The difference is just the speech, and whether you have to stand there feeling vaguely told off by a mysterious blue man in an infinite cave. Some players on the forums find this maddening. Why do both runs get the same reward? Where's the incentive to go the hard way? And honestly, that's kind of the point. Mr. Chi doesn't withhold the milk based on your methods. He gives it to everyone. He just makes sure you know, if you know, what you actually did. There is a lockbox inside the tunnel on the wall. Look closely, and you'll see something on the wall in a dark part of it. If you never happen to wander into that specific tunnel, hug the wall and think, I wonder if I should put a battery in this thing. You will go your entire life without meeting Mr. Chi. Once you do put the battery in, a note from Mr. Chi drops, where he just tells you what to do next. The tasks are, in order, leave a rainbow shell in the train station's box at the railroad. Place 10 beets inside Lewis's fridge in Mayor's Manor. Give a solar essence to the mouth of the large dragon skeleton in the Calico Desert. And finally, examine the pile of lumber beside your own farmhouse. Let's go through these one at a time, because I need you to appreciate what's happening here. A rainbow shell. You have to leave a rainbow shell, which you find washed up on the beach, if you're lucky, in the right season, inside a box at the train station. 10 beets in the mayor's fridge. Lewis doesn't know this is happening. You are sneaking into the home of your town's elected official and filling his refrigerator with root vegetables on the instructions of a mystery man. Then you go to the Calico Desert and feed a solar essence to the mouth of a dragon skeleton on a ledge. You walk past it your first time in the desert and presumably think, cool dragon bones, and move on. You do not think, I should feed this dead dragon a magic glowing orb on behalf of a man I've never met. But here you are, feeding the dragon as instructed. And finally, you go back to your own farmhouse, look at the pile of lumber outside your door, and interact with it. The club card is in there. It was there the whole time. You take the club card to the back of Sandy's Oasis shop in the Calico Desert. The bouncer steps aside, and you walk into a secret casino. Mr. Chi is in there, just standing there. He has apparently been standing in a secret desert casino this whole time, waiting for you to figure out the battery thing. He mentions that he was born an ordinary kid, but made an early decision that changed his life forever. That's it. That's all he tells you. He then just goes back to running his illegal desert casino behind a shop. So you know Grandpa, dead guy, wrote you a letter, left you a farm, a touching thing. You visit his grave in year 2. His ghost gives you a little report card on your farming. You cry a bit, and everyone moves on. And then you know Mr. Chi, mysterious blue-skinned stranger, runs a hidden casino in the desert, blah blah blah. He is a normal guy, a completely normal man, doing completely normal things. And these two do not seem like they should know each other at all. And yet, at the very end of the perfection ending cutscene, after you've done everything in the game, literally, Grandpa's ghost and Mr. Chi show up together to congratulate you, side by side, like two proud dads at a graduation. How do these people know each other? What is their relationship? The game does not say. It shows you this and walks away. And look, it's not like this is a throwaway detail they forgot about. The official wiki lists relationship with the player's grandpa is now revealed in the summit cutscene as a patch note. The player's character and grandpa are the only people who seem to acknowledge Mr. Chi's existence. Nobody else in Pelican Town appears aware of him at all. So let's put this together. Your grandpa, who is dead, knew Mr. Chi. Mr. Chi has apparently been watching over you since you arrived. Mr. Chi may have been helping make sure you succeed, possibly to fulfill Grandpa's dying wishes. His motivations aren't clear, but he may be helping enact Grandpa's final wishes by ensuring you're ready to succeed him. Why did Grandpa send you here specifically? Unknown. How did a retired farmer know a supernatural blue island dweller with his own surveillance operation? Unknown. What exactly was their relationship? Unknown. What does any of this mean? Unknown. The game's answer to all of these questions is to put them both on screen together for 30 seconds, let them say well done, and then roll credits. Done. Bye. There is a bush in Pelican Town. A normal, unremarkable, completely indistinguishable bush sitting near the bridge that leads to the beach. You need to shake it at exactly 12:40 a.m. Like other secret notes, any suggestion of a specific time means that the secret must be discovered at that exact time, or else it won't be revealed. 12:40 a.m. on the dot. When you interact with the bush at the right time, Mayor Lewis and Marnie jump out. They're startled. Lewis looks terrified. Marnie looks embarrassed, and then they bolt in opposite directions. The game gives you absolutely nothing about this. No reward, achievement, or dialogue the next day, where Lewis sheepishly says, "Ah yes, the bush incident." It gets weird. Why they chose that bush when they could use their bedrooms is unknown. Like this guy Lewis has a whole house. Marnie has a whole house. And they chose a bush in the middle of town on a busy path at 12:40 in the morning. Wait, that actually tracks. This is the same man who left his lucky purple shorts in Marnie's bedroom and then asked you, a new resident he'd just met, to go retrieve them. Lewis's approach to secrecy has always been a bit of a disaster. The man is a walking cautionary tale about the dangers of bad operational security. You only know to shake this specific bush because of secret note number 21, which shows a drawing of the bush, a clock showing 12:40, and a moon. Most times you walk into Marnie's shop, she says animal supplies for sale, but there is a 0.001% chance that instead of her normal greeting, the text under her portrait reads, "Sigh," when the door opened. I thought it might be Lewis. And then she sells you a chicken anyway, because what else is she going to do? The probability of this event is so low, roughly 1 chance per 10,000 interactions. That many thousands of hours of players have never triggered it. You could spend years in this game, walk into that ranch every single day, buy every single cow, duck, and rabbit, and never once see it. Now, here's the thing that makes this whole thing genuinely maddening. There's no reason for Marnie and Lewis to keep their relationship a secret, since they're both single older adults. Nobody in the town is going to care. Gus is just trying to run his saloon. Willie is thinking about fish. Emily is probably talking to her crystals. Nobody in Pelican Town is lying awake at night, worried about whether the mayor is dating the woman who sells livestock. It is not a scandal. It is two adults who like each other. And yet, Lewis does not want their relationship to be public. He has a whole house, she has a whole house, and somehow their relationship exists in this strange half-light, where she waits in her shop, hoping each footstep is his, and he sends you notes, asking you to retrieve his underwear from her bedroom discreetly. The man will hide in a bush at 12:40 a.m. before he publicly admits he's seeing someone. Meanwhile, Marnie is just there, every day, running her ranch, feeding the animals, waiting, and sighing at doors. She deserves a guy who isn't hiding her in a bush at 1 in the morning. Secret note number 19 is a map. A series of arrows, starting from the center of Pelican Town, leads you on a little treasure hunt through the street. You follow them dutifully. You turn left. You turn right. You navigate around buildings, until eventually the trail deposits you in one specific place, the area behind Mayor Lewis's house, where you click on the ground and find the special golden statue. It's a literal life-sized gold statue of Mayor Lewis. He had this made. Specifically, he had this made and then buried it behind his own house. Now here's the fun part. You can take it, and you can place it anywhere in Pelican Town for everyone to walk past. The next day, you get a letter in the mail with 750 gold enclosed. It reads, "In the future, I'd appreciate it very much if you refrained from placing my private belongings in town for all to see. I'm very displeased. Take this money and never speak of my project to anyone." The letter is unsigned, by the way. He sends you hush money and doesn't even sign it, as if the only person in Pelican Town who would have both the motive and the 750 gold to bribe someone about a solid gold statue of the mayor is some kind of mystery. And note, this is the same man who couldn't afford to fix the bus. The town's funds are so scarce that the player has to fix it for him. The bus is broken. The community center was abandoned. The bridge was out. The minecart system was non-functional. Lewis has been mayor for over 20 years, and nobody runs against him. And yet, there is somehow a solid gold statue buried in his garden. You can keep doing this indefinitely, placing it in town, watching it get removed, and placing it again. You stop receiving the money after the first time, which means at some point, he decided the bribe wasn't working and just accepted that this was his life now. After Lewis retrieves the statue each time, it reappears in his bedroom 90% of the time and in Marnie's bedroom 10% of the time. The wiki notes that this shows Marnie wants Lewis's statue and that Lewis lets her have it, which is either the most romantic thing in Stardew Valley, a man secretly leaving his most prized possession in the bedroom of the woman he won't publicly acknowledge, or the funniest, possibly both. At some point during the winter of year 1, you leave your farm on an ordinary morning. You're probably thinking about crops, or the mines, or what to give Penny. It doesn't matter. You just have to walk out between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. on any winter day and cross into the bus stop area. And then a shadowy figure on the path spots you, panics, and sprints into town. Your journal updates with a winter mystery, which reads, "You encountered a suspicious-looking figure by the bus stop. When it saw you, it fled toward town. Could there be a clue to its whereabouts? That's it. You were told a thing ran away from you, and now you have to go find it. The clue is footprints in the snow. The footprints will eventually vanish if you put off solving this mystery. So if you wander off to do something else first, the trail is gone, and you're on your own. You just have to follow the tracks through town until they stop at a bush near the playground, next to the community center. You shake the bush. The shadow guy falls out and says, "Eep, you caught me. I'm sorry. Take it, take it. It looks so valuable. I couldn't help myself." And he hands you a magnifying glass. Then he runs away. He stole a magnifying glass, and I'm sure he didn't need it. He just saw it and grabbed it the way a raccoon grabs something shiny. And then you catch him. He panics and gives it back immediately, like a child returning a stolen biscuit. The shadow guy could be Krobus. Krobus is a shadow person whom you can meet separately by getting the rusty key from Gunther. He's gentle, he likes giving gifts, and he becomes your friend. Did he steal your magnifying glass? He won't say, and you won't ask. The magnifying glass gives you the ability to find secret notes while digging, chopping trees, mining, fishing, or killing monsters. Without it, none of the 25 notes exist. You will not obtain any secret notes prior to getting the magnifying glass, regardless of what activities you do. And what do those notes contain? One is a diary entry from Abigail. One is Sam's holiday shopping list. Several are gift guides written by NPCs for each other. And then there's secret note number 23. At some point in your playthrough, while chopping a tree, or stabbing a slime, or fishing in the rain, a note drops. You pick it up and read it. If you can read this, come to Secret Woods. Please bring maple syrup. So an actual grizzly bear sat down at some point, picked up a pen in his large bare hands, and wrote that. I think he tried his best. And this is genuinely what came out. Either way, someone in the secret woods was practicing their letters and felt good enough about the result to circulate it through official channels. You follow his instructions and go to the secret woods with maple syrup in your inventory. anytime between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. The bear explains that you can understand him because of forest magic, the same magic that allows you to interact with the Junimos. You hand it over, and in return, he gives you bear's knowledge, which permanently triples the sell price of all salmon berries and blackberries for the rest of your playthrough. After the cutscene, the game simply says, "You've made a friend today," and then he's gone. You don't see him again in any regular capacity, except that if you buy a telephone for your farm, the bear may randomly call you. He sniffs you through the phone somehow, recognizes you, and tells you he still has the syrup. Hidden behind a log in the cinder sap forest, which you need a steel axe just to get through, by the way, so already the game is making you earn this. There's a secret area called the Secret Woods, and sitting in the corner of the Secret Woods is a stone statue. The statue reads, "Old Master Cannoli, still searching for the sweetest taste." So now you have to figure out what the hell the sweetest taste means, and your first instinct, like a normal person, is probably to try food. Players have tried giving it honey, maple syrup, and even baked goods. Nothing works. Old Master Cannoli does not want your baked goods. Thank you very much. He has standards. So what does he want? A cow? Wait, a sweet cow? What he actually wants is a sweet gem berry. It's by far the sweetest thing you've ever smelled. It also takes 24 days to grow, the entire length of a fall season. So if you missed that window, congratulations, you're waiting until next year. And it can only be grown from a rare seed. Where do you get a rare seed? From the traveling cart, for 1,000 gold, and only occasionally. The same traveling cart that is, if you remember, smuggling goods across a war border. You're buying black market seeds from a war profiteer to feed a stone statue in the woods. Oh, and the berry itself provides no benefit to your health or energy when you eat it. You can't put it in a keg. You can't put it in a jar. If you gift it to a villager, they don't even appreciate it. They'll just give you a neutral response. This crop, which takes a month to grow and costs a fortune to seed, is basically useless to everyone in Pelican Town except a dead man's statue in the woods. You bring it to old Master Cannoli. His mouth opens, and his eyes turn red, which is not how you'd want a statue to react to anything you give it. And then he hands you a star drop, a mysterious fruit that permanently increases your maximum energy. After that, you can no longer interact with the statue. It simply returns to its original form. Old Master Cannoli got what he wanted, and now he's done with you. Relationship over. Don't text him. There is a man living in a truck next to Joja Mart. He has always been there. He was there when you first walked into town, lost and overwhelmed, desperately trying to remember which crops grow in which season. He was there during every single festival. He was there at 3 a.m. when you were sprinting back from the mines, half dead. He is always there in his truck, waiting, and almost nobody knows he exists. Secret note number 20 is what leads you to him. It tells you to start in the center of the town square and follow a series of arrows. Go until you can't walk anymore, then follow the next one. You make your way around town, up across the bridge, past Joja Mart, and there it is, a truck. The same truck you've been walking past every single day. And if you knock on the window, a man is just in there, living in his truck next to Joja Mart. And he has been doing this since you arrived. He will keep doing this after you leave, and he has a proposition. He wants a rabbit's foot. Give him one, and he'll hand you a special charm that permanently increases your daily luck every single day, forever. And to get the rabbit's foot, you need a rabbit, which you need to raise from birth. Pet every single day, feed constantly, let outside in good weather, and then just hope. There's only a 0.8% chance of getting one from serpents in Skull Cavern. Your actual rabbits, the ones you've been lovingly raising and naming and caring for, might produce wool for an entire year before dropping one. Oh, and here's a detail that will make this even better. The rabbit's foot doesn't actually increase your luck while you're carrying it. The item, literally called rabbit's foot, the classic universal symbol of good fortune, does nothing for your luck. The charm you get from giving it away does. You have to sacrifice the unlucky foot to become lucky. There's something almost poetic about that, if you're into that sort of thing. I'm not. It's insane. And look, the truck driver doesn't explain himself. He doesn't say why he's there, why he chose this spot, why it has to be a rabbit's foot specifically, or why he's been sitting in a vehicle next to a Joja Corporation building for what appears to be years. He just wants the foot. You'll give it to him. He gives you the charm. Transaction complete. You will never speak to this man again. If you're into this kind of content, we have 3 full hours of Stardew Facts videos you'll love. Click the video on the screen.